Welcome back to the Best Damn Nerd Show. James Kincaid with Chris Davis for one final segment. We lost Mark because he has not watched Loki yet. I hope he never does. But here, Davis and I are, we're halfway there. So 3 episodes in now of Loki. Davis, we got your thoughts on the first 2 episodes last week. Now here we are to talk about episode 3, Lamentus. And I lament it that I still have to watch this show. For all of you nerdos here, but thus is the sacrifice of my life to tell you how much and how far the MCU has fallen. This show stinks, Davis. This show is bad. And my number one, and again, the dedication, the sacrifice for you, I rewatched the episode 1.5 times. And my question for you, Davis, is how is this Loki the Loki from phase 1 that you were so adamant about that we were getting in this series? It's not at all.
It was early in the show.
No, it wasn't.
Not so much anymore.
What did you? That was the one thing that just kept hitting me over the head as he was getting drunk and singing and talking about his mommy, showing him magic. How is this the malevolent, mischievous Loki trickster god at all?
Because I think he's still like. It's never like he said he didn't love his mom.
I'm not saying that he said that. I'm just saying, how is this the Loki that we got from phase 1 that was a villain?
And, in Norse mythology and in the comics, there's actually quite a bit of singing by the characters.
Okay, did we get a lot of singing of him in phase 1? I forgot where that part was.
No, that's actually in the real lore. If you care about that, I know you do.
No. Well, I'm just saying.
You're okay with that.
What you said was that we were getting phase 1 Loki. My question was how the Loki we're getting in the show is like phase 1 Loki, bitch.
Plus the comics phase 1.
No, that's not what you said. It's not what you fucking said, Kevin Smith.
Yeah, no, it kind of escalated a little bit in this episode.
Dude, what did you think of the episode? What a fucking waste of time.
So, yeah, no, I was watching it in bed.
No pun intended.
And I can't lie because it's already written on record in our Discord, bestdamnnerdshow.com/Discord.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And I already said it. I did fall asleep during this episode.
But it was late.
It was late. So, but there wasn't a whole lot going on, so it kind of made sense, and I finished it the next day. And the rest of the episode actually was a little bit more exciting, I guess. I don't know. They were kind of just running through that street, trying to reach the rocket ship and trying to dodge
the whole premise
meteors,
of the
buildings. Who knows?
Is dead batteries. Like it's just so hokey. It just the whole like, oh no, our little time pad is out of batteries, and that's what we're doing this episode to give them the excuse to just I'm gonna read a review.
They need to team up to make sure that they can get to the ship to recharge.
They need to team up to make sure that we have time for Karen Loki to tell us how bad the TVA actually is. Like the whole calling them fascists and how really she's not a villain all along, and the TVA is God, just so stupid and boring.
She's such a riveting character. I don't know how you couldn't.
Karen Loki is just as bad as we thought last week too. The looks not imposing, and the acting is just as bad to boot, and the characterization is just so weak sauce. Terrible. Like what have you thought of her so far?
She has been disappointing, and she has been since they introduced her in, I guess, episode 2. Just from the look, I guess, from the episode 2 into the characterization of her in episode 3, just very bland, very boring, and nothing that you would think from Sylvia. So
Sylvie.
It's Sylvie.
Sylvie, a character. I mean, let's not act like that there's the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby depth to draw upon with this character either. Came around in Dark Reign in 2009, 2010.
But still has good canon from what I've read. and is still seen as a Loki, which should have
Karen Loki
should bring you in as a Loki. Like, if as a character, those people should be like very charismatic and bring you into it. And
this episode succeeded for me in diminishing Tom Hiddleston's charisma too. Like, it was a rare feat. Like, he has never felt less like Loki than this episode. It was staggering. And the cheap attempts at laughs and the cheap attempts at like her one-upping him or vice versa were just awful, fell flat. The fighting was bad. There is nothing like this. This is my least favorite episode so far of the show. And I said last week that episode 2 was better than episode 1. So hopefully we were trending in the right direction. We are not. And we're now halfway into this. We're halfway into this. This is the review that is from IGN, not exactly a online publication that would so lightly bash anything in the MCU because they know where their bread is buttered. And this comes to us from our Discord from Papaker. Hope I'm saying that right, but he posted this for me. He said, negotiating and a reluctant partnership. This is from IGN. It's here that the episode begins to press pause, and while it eventually affords the characters some dramatic meat, it also spends an inordinate amount of time becoming especially quippy and Marvel-esque in the way that felt novel back when Robert Downey Jr. first played Iron Man in 2008, but now feels like a stale substitute for characterization. FYI, that wasn't even a plan, says Sylvie of Loki's guard uniform illusion. Dressing as a guard and getting on a train is just doing a thing, she jabs. It feels oddly out of character for an Asgardian variant, and while Sylvie could certainly end up being a character from Earth, she shares several traits with Comix Enchantress. It's the kind of meaningless snark that ultimately flattens several of Marvel's characters into indistinguishable mush. And that is a great phrase. Indistinguishable mush is exactly what that character is and what a lot of the MCU is becoming.
It's okay. The episode wasn't great, but I still am interested in the show. I am interested to see where the characters are going and what happens with the TVA. I think the TVA is like my biggest interest at this point.
I guess, yeah, sure. But I mean, like, so the big reveal here was that all of the people in the TVA are variants. I guess that's like kind of an interesting reveal and how they're going to take that. I have no interest in seeing the TVA as being sort of revealed as this malevolent force, and that Karen Loki is not the villain that we think she is, though. I have no interest in that.
But if you go on the type of villain that Loki is, that would fall very much in place with it, because Loki is not a villain.
Loki is a villain.
He is.
That's such shit. I'm so tired of that. Like, just because a villain becomes popular, they don't all have to become anti-heroes.
No, but that's the type of character that Loki is, and I would think the variants are.
I don't like it.
that is every time I say something that you have nothing for, that's what you say. So I know I made a good point.
I don't think. Look, that might be what they're trying to do with Loki in the MCU and everything like that. But it's still not good storytelling. Like none of this, like nothing in this show is good storytelling. I'll grant you that that's what they want to do because Tom Hiddleston set all of these nerds aflame with his charisma and his portrayal. And I like Tom Hiddleston as Loki, but they definitely did an about face with how they wanted to portray him because of how he was received.
Oh yeah, they did. I mean,
and he's indistinguishable in this show as Loki. There was nothing Loki about either one of them. Either Tom Hiddleston or Karen Loki. It was so just where is the Loki that would have had these, like the ability to even take on the Avengers here? Mm-hmm. He's getting beat up by these guards on this train.
He's drunk.
Dude, stop it.
He had a little bit to drink, bro.
Asgardian.
He can't hold up. He's too much in his cups.
Dude, you cannot defend that.
No, I can't.
So bad.
I can't. No, yeah, I think the only thing this episode had going for it was some of the visuals, which weren't even great. But I do like the idea of like a planet falling in on top of him. It reminds me of one of my favorite movies, Time Machine. when the moon's falling down.
What if?
Yeah. So, yeah. What if this show had more Loki in it?
I wish I had a time machine. Stop all this drivel from being made. I
guess that's the moral of the story. Is just don't, include planets or moons destroying itself onto a planet, and then your story might be good.
I guess the most glaring thing from this episode was the lack of Owen Wilson. Really hurt the show.
Yeah, no, I mean that was pretty pivotal, and that's been carrying this Loki show, is that interaction between the two, and it's pretty glaring when it doesn't have it.
I've been talking about it on the Discord, but the best part about the Loki series is Miss Minutes, that little animated clock character that's like the paperclip from Microsoft.
Somebody called you out because you called it very
it's very
Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah,
and I thought that was a great reference. It does look a lot like that. Sure, it's computer animated and
it's the vibe that I get. I wasn't talking about how it was produced. I'm saying it's very Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's a great call out.
Yeah,
and
it's best part of the show. That little clock thing.
So whoever thought James was wrong on the Discord, you can kindly leave.
No, that's our buddy Tycho. We like Tycho. He's
it's Tycho? He can definitely leave.
He's an animation nerd. But yeah, voiced by Tara Strong. Yeah, so this episode's sorely lacking Miss Minutes and Owen Wilson's Mobius.
They can't. What if they put in Miss Minutes in every episode? Just drop her in.
If she was like Navi for Loki this whole time, I don't know. Sounds like a better show.
Pops up out of his watch or something. I'm good with that. No, they should have done that. That's too bad.
Already a better show.
Yeah.
Already a better show.
I
know I'm being super hard on it, and rightfully so. The reveal about the variants, I am curious to see how Owen Wilson reacts, how Mobius reacts. Will he say wow? Will he not?
Wow.
Wow. But I mean, that's like the big sort of twist or whatever that's gonna throw everything on its head, and I don't know. I guess that's a modicum of intrigue.
Will the Timekeepers be a different version of Doctor Doom?
No.
Okay.
Why, you think they will be?
I'm just saying there's a lot of looks and feels of their vibe that comes off very Doctor Doom-esque.
I don't think they're going to be lizards.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't think.
But there's a lot of thing about their look, their mask that I'm wondering if it's like a different timeline.
Dude, do you know how fucking sad I would be if Doctor Doom got introduced in the MCU via this show? That would be a travesty.
I wouldn't say it was that they would do his presence. I think it would potentially just be like a hint, like a name drop, maybe, or something like that.
Maybe they're Doom bots.
Ooh.
No, that would
a Doom bot.
I only fed into this nonsense just to get that out of you to please our fans, because I care about you, Nerdosphere. I care. No, this show is a.
You never know. What if, James?
What if this show is a stinker? An absolute stinker. However, I do think you bring up the time machine. That would make a great Adam Zika movie night. So I think that we should do the time machine coming up. But we're going to keep pressing forward with Loki. I mean, there's only 3 episodes to go, so why not? And nothing has fucking happened. Not a damn thing. We've got Karen Loki. We've got sad Tom Hiddleston Loki that's nothing like his other portrayals.
Phase 1 Loki.
Yeah, nothing like Phase 1 Loki. which was your main assertion last week. He's nothing like him.
He seems just like him.
He seems nothing like him at all. Whatsoever. All right, that is going to do it for this episode of the Best Damn Nerd Show. Don't watch Loki on Disney Plus, or if you do, listen to us tear it to pieces because it is just a stink burger.
Don't believe him.
It's a dick bagel of a show.
It's just one episode. Wasn't that great?
You fell asleep. You fell asleep. You fell asleep during the show.
I enjoyed the rest of it the next day.
God. Crapping on the Infinity Stones. All right, have a great week, everybody. Remember, if you're a nerd, always say it loud and say it proud.